What's up, everybody? It's your boy Coach Rhodes. My man Coach Byrd.
What's up?
And today, we got the OG Bird.
The Big Byrd here with us today.
The Big Byrd.
The Big Byrd here with us. First damn person we've had a collar on the show. He's all dressed up like he's going out.
Big Byrd in the name, but not inside. Got that.
Oh man.
Glad to be back, man. I know you kind of busted on me a little bit about my Otani and then winning the home run contest.
Yep.
Pretty hard. He won't even in it.
Unscripted Coaches, episode 31 here today. Byrd, if you don't know, he's referencing the episode 30 last week. He had to go solo. He's a little sensitive. Some of you guys called him out for having some stuff wrong in the previous episode.
Mike Rouse called me out about don't do that.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's right.
He needs to run some of this through by me before he
just starts talking.
That's what we're going to do today.
Get a fact check.
We're going to get a lot of good information here from...
We're going to talk about Hopkins a little bit and on through a little bit and all that.
Yeah.
Whatever you talk about, you got some kind of stories you might like to tell you.
No, you know.
Yeah, we like to have some fun times.
Well, before we get started, it seems like this summer we've heard more and more talk from this guy about him growing up as a kid and all this stuff that he did. So I got two questions for you. You can answer them together, separate, how you want to do it. The first question is, okay, did he have as much fun as he says he had as a kid? And the second question is, what was a young Coach Byrd like around the house, Coach? What you got for us?
He probably had more fun than he should have had.
Okay. All right.
His fun was very expensive sometimes.
Okay.
Because, one time I sent him off to East Carolina for summer school. I had a Jeep. I had an old Jeep I bought and run around on. When he got back, he pulled the oil stick out. It was dirt. It was dust on the bottom of it. He said, I forgot to put oil in this summer.
Well, I didn't think it needed.
The summer, the whole summer?
Yeah, well, I didn't think
But other than that, as far as...
playing all the time. We played all the time uptown at the park.
He's a little more negative in some things I was, but he's a typical coach because he likes to pull them out like I did when I was growing up. Of course, all coaches pull them out.
That's right.
But I need to, before we get going good, I need to throw out some of my old coach buddies.
Okay.
Coach Bass, Coach Brett, Coach Heath, Coach Mewborn, Tom Mewborn. Your old Kevin Hunter throwback, Jeff Heath. And my buddy that's gone now is Wilbur Sasser. Left, coached 4 years at Hopton and went to Havelock and done a great job. Named Phil after him. But he's gone now. He was a good one.
So these are all the guys you coached with at Hopton.
Yeah, that's a lesson for me right there. I did not know that Coach Sasser was at Hopton.
Yeah.
I feel like I knew he was somewhere local before he went down to
Havelock,
but I didn't realize he was from.
He was at Havelock for a couple of years, then went to Goldsboro.
Okay.
And then I was the head football coach for 3 years. That's what I got hired for. And I gave it up, and they hired him. And the first year he went over, and the last year he went to play for Eastern Championship. Then he went back to Havelock, won a lot of games. And
talking about football, high school football started up this week. I know he's happy. But I definitely know he's happy because he's the most sport-oriented man I know. And he asked me 1,000 questions about what's going on and stuff like that. But he's kind of excited about that. Talking about high school football, you remember you told me one time when you were at Hopton, or whenever I was head coach, and did you tell me or I just made this up? Because I think I told him. You went to 400 straight Hopton high school football games.
I went to 473.
Straight games.
Straight games. The one I missed was when my wife Patsy fell.
When I was at Union.
Yeah, she fell and dislocated elbow. That I was getting ready to go, and they took us to the emergency room. The times I was at Hopton, counting coaching, and when Jeff was there, they played 501 games. I saw 500 of them. That was the only one.
That's pretty impressive.
Man, that is outstanding.
Yeah.
That means that's pretty impressive. That's really well.
Well, that's good because we talk about Coach Will unscripted. We just get up here and start jibber jabbering. Sometimes we talk about what we want to, and sometimes we forget because we get on some tangent and we just take it where it goes. But one of the things I was going to ask you was how many games total you thought you'd been to. Now, I had no clue.
473.
But 500 out of 501 from the time you started there until Jeff finished there. That is a ton
That might
of
be a
football.
record.
The only person I know that's been in more high school football games around here is Coach J. Van.
Really?
Because I spent 2 years in the Army and I didn't see but probably 1 or 2 in 2 years.
Oh yeah.
But he's been in long and I have. He's seen more than
you.
than I have.
That is unbelievable.
But as far as your basketball, baseball, I'd had to sit down and count the numbers because I was athletic director for 20-some years. I went to all basketball, all baseball, even when I coached baseball for 24 years.
Yeah.
But I went right on, you know.
Well, I know that you've always been about sports, Coach. Coach, when you talk about people who keep the title coach above their name, he's one of them. I mean, obviously he just told you all the time that he spent as an active coach, as an active AD. But I mean, man, he's at everything. He's at all kinds of ball games now, and it's just wild. If it could be one you coached in, or maybe one he was coaching, or just a general game you went to.
Because y'all had won the state championship.
Yeah, we want to talk about that one too. But outside of that, is there like 1 or 2 games, Coach, that like you'll just never forget? Like something about it.
I'll never forget about your father-in-law.
I
won't never forget about that one.
Oh boy!
When we thought we had a stop on 4th down, he called completed pass, and then the next pass they threw it down to about the 30, and they stopped the clock with 1 second to go. Threw it in the end zone. Our defensive back went up and caught it in the end zone, and the official was late getting down there. They had tackled him. When they got down there, they took it away from him, and we got beat. And between the hollering and the scrapping after the game, that was something. That was probably one I'll always.
That's one moment.
Yeah, but you know the one that set everything apart was state championship game with Swain County.
Where was it at?
At Chapel Hill.
At Chapel Hill.
3:30. It was probably when the game got over. It was probably the wind chill factor was in the 20s probably.
Ooh.
Yeah, they were young that year, and we had. We didn't dress for 22 or 23 before we brought the JVs up. We played 19. There weren't 1 or 2 that didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
That particular year on defense, of course, my defense was simple. You either line up, head up, and go to the gap, or you start out in the gap with 8 up front. Mm-hmm. We gave up 59 points in 10 games that year.
59 points in 10 games.
That's the first year they started running the wing T too now. Coach Britt, ain't the first year y'all, ain't nobody ever seen the wing T.
Coach Al Britt went to the wing T man up in Delaware and got a book running wing T, and it was like the book said it was there. And we were the only ones around here to run it. People didn't know how to stop it.
Well, I never knew this until later on. Once we started studying the wing T, and obviously, there's a bunch of variations of it now, but the original one, like Coach is talking about here, is the Delaware wing T. That's the original. And I never knew, but that's where the helmets came from.
Yeah.
Because the Delaware's helmets, they're the ones that were the original. They had that logo.
They were kind of blue looking. They were different.
There's a different color, but the same logo on the helmet. And I never knew that. And I thought once I found that out, it was really cool. I always wondered why Hopton had such a unique helmet, but that was really neat. So
I've had some, and probably, William Hardison, D. Hardison was probably the best football player, one of the best ever been in Sampson County. Mm-hmm. And I went there when he was a junior, and we had a good team. And next year we moved up classification, and it was sort of tough on him. But he played 10 years in pro.
Wow.
I mean, he's probably one of the few people that ever made AP All-American at Carolina first team defensive tackle. That's a rarity, to make first team.
Right here from Hopton High School.
But he was 6'4", weighed 220 in high school. When he left Carolina, he was like 275, 280. Got drafted by the Buffalo Bills, but played most of his time with New York Giants.
Mm. But you said 10 years.
He played 10 years. He passed away 5 or 6 years ago.
Wow.
But
man. Hey, one of your most favorite moments, I know what it better be. When I went to Hopton, I started in middle school, and then I started high school. And that one year, me and you got to coach. So I got to actually coach with him. We took the JVs, and me and Byrd went down there and we coached them. We went undefeated, won the conference championship. So I mean, I've won some conference championships since then, but that's probably the most memorable thing because I got to do it with Big Byrd. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah, we got, worked together. He coached the offense, I coached the defense. Same thing, we lined them up. We had the two Seminole boys that didn't, they helped a lot.
That helped a lot. I mean, we talked about Brandon, talked about all
One
that.
of them was fullback, one of them was a tailback, and the other one played linebacker, the other played defensive guard. Pretty good.
We went undefeated, and I didn't hear no lip. I didn't hear no lip or nothing like that.
Well, that's pretty good if you didn't hear any lip.
How about you? I got one for you. I always talk about. I don't even know if you get in trouble with that stuff the other night. How about that time y'all had that football player? Remember, he got hurt during the game. Was that telling me a story too? He got hurt and they took him to the hospital.
Oh, wait, that was also at Southwest Southwest.
All right, let's get the full story, Coach.
We had a really good running back.
Mm-hmm.
He gets hurt in the first quarter. They had a team doctor. He comes out there and he gets over him. He said he can't play anymore. He got to get to the hospital. So they put him in that rescue squad and took him to the hospital. Middle way third quarter, he comes back through the end zone running as hard as he could. And we like to caught up with him, but we didn't have enough time.
Put him back in and played.
Put him back in the game?
He wasn't nothing wrong with him. The team doctor said he can't play no more. So the next year, we went back, maybe the next year, Coach Britt told him, said, don't send him out here. If he's dying, we'll just tell everybody he's dead. But don't send him back out here anymore. But that's,
So now you think somebody gets hauled off on the rescue now these days.
Well,
but they wrote down he run back and played the second half. That's perfect.
You ain't coming back tonight. Most time you get to the ER, it's gonna be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
These days.
But that was just one of them things, and of course they were tough. They've always had some history of being good football down there.
Well, you said 28 years the head baseball coach.
24.
24 years the head baseball coach. What's one of your all-time favorite baseball games memories?
I guess the most fun we ever had was probably beating Midway, and probably some of the better ones. We played North Tupin. Of course, we went through a streak that we were pretty good, and then we could handle North Tupin. Then we went through a streak that were not too good, and we couldn't beat Saint Man. And probably one of the things I remember most of all was my high school coach, Rich Khalil, coached baseball.
Yeah, he played at North Tupin.
Yeah, I didn't realize you played for Coach Khalil.
And I was a pitcher in high school, and matter of fact, I went 17-2
Woo-woo.
in high school.
Give him a little
Hey,
hope.
what's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
Of course, we didn't play for 13 or 14 games back then,
Yeah.
because the same coach there was 4.
You went 17-2 in your career.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
In your
supposed to do some math because you see I played 13
My
games.
senior year I went 9-2. We didn't play for 13 games.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't have a pitch
And
count
I
back
didn't
then.
have
Hear that?
And
He said
I
he played 13 games, and he said he went 9-2, so that's 11 that he got the decision.
Well,
There ain't no pitch count back then.
the only team that beat us that year was Grantham.
Okay.
And they had Wayne Sullivan, Jimmy Bryant, people like that went on and played semi-pro baseball. But we were playing North Tupin early when Khalil, and Khalil had 2 signals. The bunt was on deck, batter would hold the bat parallel. That was a bunt. And the other one is, if it's down on one knee, that was a steal.
Who was down on one knee? The coach?
No, the on deck man.
That's who get the signal on deck man.
On deck man.
That's all
On
right.
deck man.
Hey, you might need that because he's going to be the baseball coach.
So tuning in
Hey,
this stuff right here.
the
boy.
score was
Take it
zip, like in the bottom of the 6th inning or something like that, and they had a man on third. So I look up, he's standing there with the bat parallel, and I call for a pitch out, and here he come on the suicide. We reached out and texted him. We beat him 1-0 next inning.
Daggone.
But he hadn't changed the signal, But that was,
Coach called.
back then was simple stuff. I mean, I coached 24 years, and I never used. It's simple signal. I didn't go through all the other stuff where we didn't have the wristbands and the.
All the jazz.
Coach.
Now they got like little beeps and stuff. They beep in their ears, their wrist and man.
But baseball was pretty solid for quite a few years. Then it got bad, and then it got back a little better. But he wasn't a big sport over there.
Coach Rose wants to know what is the difference coaching now than it was when you were coaching in the 80s? Kids different? Can you talk to them different? Like I know you ain't coached in the last 5 or 10 years, but I know you've been in enough games you can see the difference.
Baseball is baseball. The difference in the day is the kids don't. it was more important back then. You know, that's what they just, baseball was important. They went out there and they practiced. If you say go left, they'd go left. They wouldn't ask you why'd I go left, you know. They whatever. The parents didn't have to worry about no parents because, you know, they may go to the games or they may not go. Some of them would go, but not all of them.
Yeah.
But you didn't have all the grandmamas and grandpapas and they didn't come up and say, well, he hit 500 in Little League or he hit 600 in junior high. You know, they just played and they enjoyed playing. But the talent level back then, the ones that were good back then would be good today.
Yeah.
Now they play a lot more today, and some of them they're a little bigger and a little stronger. But as far as baseball, it's not that much more improved than it was back then.
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of discussions. I say we, me, and various other people in sports. You, some especially. I don't know. I just feel like we don't see skill level improving a ton. I think you mentioned it might be a little bigger, a little stronger. I think if you really look at it, you probably are bigger, stronger now, maybe more athletic in some ways. Now I know you got standouts. The guy you said played 10 years in the NFL, Todd McLaurin, Brandon Simmons. That's the difference. But I'm talking about your everyday high school kid. You know, you might be a tick more athletic, but I just don't think you see the same skill level. I think it's more based on other things now, and I could be wrong, but you know, like fundamental skills, I guess is what I'm getting at. And I think it's what you talk about. It's something they do for fun, or you know, to pass time. Yeah. Whereas then it was fun, but it meant something to them. It sounds like in all sports, not just baseball, but we're talking about baseball right now.
And I know you said they might play. I don't know if they play more now than they did when we were growing up. I mean,
well, I'll tell you one thing. They play more structured games now.
Oh, yeah.
But they don't go out, and this is probably where a lot of them kids got good, Coach. Tell me if I'm wrong. And you talk about this all the time. They don't just go out and play anymore. It's always with an organization. Is that what you agree?
Kids today don't know the game like they used to know it. Because they used to know it by learning with 4 or 5 people out there playing. And so they knew where to throw it and when not to throw it and all that stuff. Because there wasn't nobody but them to tell them.
Yeah.
And they learned by trial and error. Yeah. But and the pitch count has changed high school game. Because back then with no pitch count, you had somebody like Doyle Whitfield that played college baseball, played a little minor league baseball. He pitched every game. He pitched Tuesday and Friday. Mm-hmm. So the level of pitching is a little bit better today.
Yeah.
And but no, they don't. And the thing that changed, another thing that's changed, is their parents are a lot smarter today than they were back then. Mm. Because when you pay somebody $100 an hour to teach your boy how to hit and show him how to do things, and that mama and daddy is standing right there listening. So now when he gets through telling him how to hit, then he knows how to hit, and he might have never played baseball in his life, but now he become an expert on how to throw and hit. And so
they could have sideline coaches then.
And when you go out there and you try to tell them what to do, in the back of their mind, well, that ain't what he tells me to do. But see, back then you had that, and the ones on the sidelines, I stand on the sideline and watch, and they criticize, well, he don't know how to hit. I told you, the thing with baseball is you got to remember one thing. If you and I are standing on the sidelines and your boy strikes out, in my mind, I'm going to say, well, he can't hit. But if my boy strikes out and your boy strikes out, then you're going to look at one another and say, if the coach would just teach them how to hit, they'd be all right.
Ain't that something?
That would always be that way.
That's about right.
And that's the way it is,
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that.
Another thing before we get, I know you had to have coaches in Little League and stuff. Mm-hmm. And most coaches in Little League and stuff like that are parents.
Right.
So if you got 4 parents, they ain't gonna holler at your kids, you ain't gonna holler at my kids. So anything they might not be doing right that you want to correct them, you're not gonna get on them because one parent's looking at another parent.
Yeah, but that's probably a little different, I think. I think over time, I think that's a change perception.
Right.
I don't think that it's all. I could be wrong, but for instance, when I just think about my recreation coaches, and if I did something wrong and they knew it or didn't, you know, whatever, they coached me.
Right.
It didn't matter that my dad was standing there
Yeah.
at practice. You know, that wasn't an issue, and then the same thing with him. I remember my dad, as one of my coaches, if, you know, Jeff messed up and you were helping coach, he saw it, he would tell it.
Right.
You know? And that's two things I wanted to hit, because Jackson's baseball coach, Coach Shear, you know, played at Mount Olive and was drafted, played in some minor league and stuff, had a good career. He talked about that too. He talked about how, like, something would happen in a game and he'd be like, well, if the kids would just play wiffle ball, they would have known what to do there. Because like you said, if they mess up, they are very comfortable telling each other what to do. And the stakes are lower. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You losing, well, you might get mad, but it ain't like losing to the,
You're learning
to
stuff.
the other team.
Yeah.
You know, like in front of your mamas and daddies. That seems a little more serious. You know?
And I know this is just baseball, but this is all sports. Basketball
Yeah.
and
You
football.
name it across the board. And then the other thing you said was like, we were just talking about it. Like, I want to make a point now. Like I try to tell all the people, because I'm not he played basketball for a year. I'm not going to tell. He was on a team with a guy that was pretty good at basketball. Hey, you coach him now. Like, and I go sit, you know. In baseball, I helped this year. But I mean, I wasn't one of his main coaches, like the head coach or anything, and I was new to the league, so I just told him, hey, if you see him do something, you know, tell him, you know, because I don't mind it, and I think that's important. But
Are you gonna be the new head coach next year?
I reckon we'll officially break the news here next year. Coach Rhodes will have a new title in the spring, head baseball coach. So,
And you're going to go to some of these philosophies he used, aren't you?
This guy right here, I don't know how many coaching changes there have been since I've come back to school, or come back to North Duplin. But every time it comes open, coaches come to me. You need to take the baseball job. You need to take the baseball job. We've had that conversation multiple times, and I appreciate him encouraging me to it. But for whatever reason, never moved on it. But this year, I reckon I'll be doing it. So we'll see how it goes.
You'll have some to work with. You have some, yeah. But it's not as probably greater talents they have had, but it's some talent out there.
Well, I think there's one thing I do believe there's a group of kids right now that, you know, enjoy playing the game.
Right.
It may, you know, I think we might have to grow that, but I do think they enjoy playing the game. But, you know, my deal is, and, you know, we started talking about this. I just said, look, these kids gonna play, and I got in this thing to help kids, and, you know, if nobody else comes along with a little background or whatever, I'll take it. And we lost the position and the P position, and there it is.
You got it. I'm giving it to you. You got it.
I'm in there.
You know, Byrd started out at North Duplin coaching.
Didn't know that.
He was there with the middle school a couple of years.
The first year
I think we're going to a story.
Yeah, we're going to talk about middle school.
No, really.
He's the middle school coach.
When I got out of the Army in 1970, but first of all, I was going to coach at North Duplin Middle School before I went to Army, but I got drafted. When I come out in 1970, the first year I coached, we had a 7th, 8th, and 9th grade team.
Okay.
Football. Mark Best, I don't know if you know Mark Best, he helped me. There was 2 of them. And we had Larry Marcy was one of them, Ronnie Byrd, probably 2 of the better ones ever been in North Duplin.
Okay.
They were part of the team.
Ronnie might have played. He played in East Carolina a little bit, didn't he? Ronnie Byrd.
Okay.
And J.D. Benson was on the team, and
You know, J.W. policeman now.
Some of them, was that some of the group that ended up winning the state championship?
Yeah.
Okay.
He kind of molded them right there.
But we
trained them up right.
But we practiced at the junior high and facing, and we played anybody we played. We played junior high team, 7th, 8th, and 9th. We played JV teams, but we had a good squad and some of the better players that played. And the next year went back to 7th and 8th grade, and then we played a few teams. And
You coach with basketball?
Coached basketball 1 year.
That might be where I got my knowledge. You had a good, exciting game.
Basketball, I figured out one thing in basketball right early. This is a story about junior high basketball. When I was in high school, they run plays, you know. You go here and you go there, one this and one that and one that. So the first time I went to practice, about 3 days after practice, I said, well, we're going to put in a couple of plays today. In high school, one time I was sitting on the bench, in basketball. But I knew what the guard was supposed to do. So I put in the guard play. I said, tomorrow we'll work on the forward and center. So I went back home, I called Coach Avent, and I said, tell me what y'all done. That was my basketball.
There you go.
But I figured out right quick, you got to be able to put it in the basket. If you do, you're all right.
Is that how you win it, Coach?
Yes.
Well, didn't y'all have a basket? What about that? You told me a story about a basketball game one time.
Was it basketball or baseball?
Basketball one.
I can't repeat it.
Well, you can't.
No. We were playing Union, and they had a guy that he was down, he wasn't real, you know, and it's middle of the second quarter, and we up 3-2.
3-2 in the middle of the second quarter. That sounds like my basketball coaching days.
And he looked down and he said, your boys are playing good today, Coach Byrd. I said, you need to blank, blank, blank. And he didn't say no more to the rest of the game. 3-2 in the second quarter. You know, he said, your boys are playing good. So I coached basketball that year and the next year.
I thought he wanted to tell us that other story. You can't tell that one, can you?
Wow.
Where you went down there and you put that dude to play in the game.
The best story about basketball.
I need to do this.
This is a true story.
I need to do this.
I was in middle school, 7th and 8th grade. I was in 8th grade. We played EMI, which is in Salemburg, which is called Everett Military. They had a middle school team. They came to face them and played us, and we beat them 4 or 5 points. We go back down there, and at halftime, they were wearing us out. So we had a guy that went with us, his name was Johnny Sykes. He had graduated the year before. And somebody said, well, let Johnny play. He said, well, he ain't got no uniform. They said, well, take so-and-so. He ain't no good. So we dressed him out the second half. He come down the court about the first 2 or 3 times and dribbled off with his foot and it rolled out of bounds. The next 4 or 5, he hit turnaround jump shots from 10 foot. And we beat him. And after the game, the coach come up and said, now, I don't want you to let L.J. Grant the best pitcher I've been in all too.
Yeah.
I don't want to let you, when we can play me in baseball, don't let him pitch for you.
So
This boy was 19 years old.
he was 19 in the middle school game.
19. So nowadays you've been fired and would never get.
I wanted to do something like that.
Yeah.
That is
19 years
erased
old.
all of your best. That's funny.
Yeah, we took the boy's uniform.
A senior, he had graduated from high school, and then y'all put him in the
Eighth
play
grade
middle school game.
Yeah. He was out there playing against 7th and 8th graders.
You know what? I don't want to call any names of any coaches. Matter of fact, I don't think I can name any of them. But the year I coached some middle school boys, basketball, I ain't so sure that some of the teams we were playing didn't use that same strategy, coach. Because not only did they wear us out, but they looked like they were about 20. So they might have had a couple of seniors out there. They might have took a page out of that book.
Well, they didn't. Back in the 60s, they didn't even have no. I mean, people might play 5 years in high school. They didn't keep up with nothing back then. You didn't have all that other stuff now. Just play.
Just go.
You go to some more rural school out in the country, you know, they might have somebody that might be 20 years old.
You didn't know it.
Nah.
Well, that's good. I think it's pretty, I tell you another lead, a lot of people, and you'll probably go through this too. You'll go through this. Like, Byrd went to North Duplin and played sports in North Duplin. I went to North Duplin and played, and his grandson. That's kind of neat, like, you know, he's talking about these traditional schools and stuff. And a lot of people say their whole generation of family went through the same school and stuff like that.
Harder.
And we won a state championship my senior year, so he was on he coached the state championship. So that's kind of neat. Both of us got rings and stuff like that. Went to the same schools.
I spent 29 and a half years at Hopping, and you know, it's still, put a lot of roots over there, and I still live Hopping High School. But I live in North Duplin because I went to North Duplin, and I still follow them now because I'm back home with my son.
So you kind of bring that up. So kind of how hard was it when you were fun faced and you were coaching at Hopping and all your buddies were coaching at North Duplin? That's who you play golf with. That Coach Avent, Coach Sanderman, Hank, and y'all were all good buddies.
The one mistake I made when I got the job at Hopping, I probably should have moved to Hopping, moved to Newton Grove. but Patsy had a beauty shop in Facein, so I stayed here. But all my friends that I hung out with on weekends were North Duke.
Yeah.
And so, what I want to know on Friday night at 11 o'clock is how bad you got beat. Or I hope you can get beat, you know.
Right.
I mean, I woke up one morning, we played North Duke and got beat. There was a nice reef out there in front of my yard. And I'm sure it come from the graveyard, but it was in my yard.
Well, for the record, Coach lives right, well,
You know,
he's near the graveyard.
Yeah.
So that's, and North Duke that was the big rivalry when you, and Howard North Duke won it, and it's still pretty big. I try to tell you, it's still pretty big.
It was really big.
Well, you hit it though.
Because I went to Houghton, the coach said, I used to talk some junk about something. I want to beat North Duke.
Big Byrd at them chicken stores.
I just want to beat North Duke.
Run his mouth.
Well, you want to beat people you know, so you see them.
But you know the thing about it though is I kind of wish we could get back to this. I know it's supposed to be like some natural rivalries and stuff, but I think of it different.
Yeah.
And I know maybe it's because I hadn't experienced it, but I think it would be cool to have a good relationship with the men, you know what I'm saying, on the other side over there. And be able to have those conversations. I enjoy talking to some of the coaches we coach against now, but I think it's kind of a unique deal, you know. You get a little bragging rights. And of course, I know now it gets heated, okay? And I'm sure there was some close and some heated games or whatnot. But the beautiful thing about that is what you just said before that is, through all that competition over all those years, 20 plus years, 25 plus years, now when you get up in the morning, who do you go hang out with?
Yeah, the ones you were coaching against.
The people he coached against. I mean, you go play golf with them. I mean, what, coach? Every day? I mean, when the weather's nice, I mean, it's pretty regular, right?
Back then, y'all played together all the time. So that's kind of, and
I just think that's neat, you know?
You know, like Coach Avian, I mean, and me and Ken were good friends. When I played coach against Ken and James Ken, I wanted to beat his tail. Yeah. Just like I wanted to beat y'all. Yeah. And just like now when I'm in North Duke, I want to be hot. That's just.
Well, that's how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to want to win the game, but I think you can do it without just like hating, like literally hating somebody. And obviously that ain't the case for you, coach, because I mean, that's some of your best friends in life.
You know, the coaches that are over there now, you know, the ones just left, you know, we weren't real tight. But the ones that's coming in, I know him good, you know. And so, you know, when he was over there, it didn't really matter that much in a sense because, of, you know.
Didn't have that connection with him.
No.
Now Coach Strong is over there.
That's why I never go back a lot of times because when I walk in the building, I want to be able to talk to the coaches. Yeah. But if you couldn't talk to them, then you don't go back, and then one day leads to another day, and you miss some time.
You talking about talking? I don't think I don't know. I've ever gone many places somebody didn't ask about. It's either how's Big Byrd, how's Speck, how's Jimmy. You know, they got 4 or 5 different names. And I ain't never gone nowhere he didn't know anybody. And the same thing with Brady and him. They say, man, does he just know everybody? But sometimes he just likes to talk.
Well, he does like to talk, but again, this is what I said earlier. One of the names he'll never get rid of is coach.
Yeah, that's 50 years of knowing
y'all. Y'all are probably in one of the greatest professions there is, coaching. I know the thing about coaching is, it's 10% of your pay and 9% of your headaches. Mm-hmm. That's what coaching is. But there's nothing like the feel of winning a game, the high you get when you win a game. And there ain't nothing like the low when you lose a game. But it's something that a lot of people don't never experience. I mean, they go to the game, and that's why fans go, because it gives them something right around. North Duke is, as far as percentage-wise, they have more fans than anybody around here, by far, because they get to see people they don't ever see. Yeah. I mean, there's no town that you see people. I mean, you don't go to Facein no more because they don't have that, but you get to see them at the games and stuff like that. And it's really important. That's why you got to have something to build around. And athletics is the number one thing in high school, by far. And you take some schools around that are suffering in athletics. I mean, you don't hear anything good about it. It's always something.
And them kids take that for granted, too. You know, I know y'all preach that, and y'all do the pregame speeches, but kids take that for granted when you choose, well, I ain't going to play this year, and I'm going to play this. That's the thing you're going to remember most of the time. Like I've always said, you ain't going to remember what English class you had or who was in your class. You're going to playing them sports.
Well, that's what I try to, at some point before game, be it the day before, after practice, or the minutes leading up to it, That's what I tell them. I'm like this, and the bottom line is you can't control whether or not you win or lose the game. You tried, and that's your goal, and to win the game and all that. But you can't do that. But you can't control that. You know, there's some things that's gonna go against what you want, and that's just how life works. But I try to tell them what you said, man. You gotta enjoy the moment and make as many memories as you can, so that later on, the people who choose to play later on in life, you actually. I ain't seen a teammate in 15 years, and I see him, and we're gonna talk about something that happened on a Friday night in the fall, and back in 2006, 2007, or whatever the year was, or in the spring, that, and it's one of those things. And as a coach, that's what I tell some of these kids all the time. Hey, look, I wasn't talented enough to go play no ball, but as a coach, that's the closest I can get back to feeling that way. You know what I mean? And then I've made a ton of memories in my short career. You got 25 plus years. You got right at 30 years, right? I mean, it's one of those deals that you get opportunities and
that's who comes up and talks to you down the road more than them other students, them athletes.
Oh yeah.
But for a male or female athlete, it builds more character than most anything you can ever be around, because they learn how to win and learn how to lose. Mm-hmm. And you can't. Most kids can build character like they want to build it.
Yeah.
But sports creates a lot for it.
Well, if you let it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's one thing that as a parent right now, you got to figure out how you're going to let your child fail, because nobody wants to see their youngin' fail. But you got to figure out how to let it go. But nowadays, it's like, go back to like young kids and sports and stuff. It's like winning and losing. Yeah, it's important, but like, you can't put so much pressure on the youngin' or try to take care of them and protect them. Like, they're going to fail. That's how sports are designed. There's very few sporting endeavors where you see somebody be perfect. You can have a perfect game in baseball, but even in that, not every pitch is a strike. You know what I'm saying? So even what's called a perfect game may not exactly be perfect. The ball might get hit or whatever. So, but you gotta let your kids experience that so that they can learn from it. And I think too, Coach, we can see parents not do that these days. I mean, would you agree to that?
The coaches growing up, I probably learned a lot from Byrd. I learned a lot on my coaching, and that's probably the reason I got into coaching. But he'd come home and he'd be all mad, I'd be like, what the hell, it ain't nothing but a ball game. This is when I was 7, 8, 10 years old. He said, man, what are you so upset for? He said, you don't, but when I started coaching, then I said, well, now I understand.
Yeah.
Now I understand. I understand. I might sit in the house and not even want to say nothing to nobody after get my tail beat. Whereas them players, they'll go on, but it's the coaches that have to deal with it. And I used to always didn't understand why he would get so mad all the time until I actually walked in his footsteps.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about coaching and winning and losing, you got 69 basketball teams. 68 of them going to lose in NCAA basketball. Mm-hmm. There's 69 teams when they start out. 68 of them is going to lose the last game they play. Mm-hmm. And but that's just, they're going to win some and lose some along the line.
Yeah.
But it's
Coach,
and a lot of people don't like it. Everybody don't. It's not meant for everybody.
No.
But, but a Friday night football, football on Friday night. That's what to me. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see 15. I'm not gonna go to the championship game, but I'm probably gonna see 20 games during the year, because I'm gonna catch a game on Thursday night and Friday night if somebody's not playing.
Right.
And if I'm lucky enough, I might catch one on Monday, Thursday, and Friday.
Coach, get after it.
But it's it's just, I like basketball, but I don't like it that much because it's so tedious. I mean, I pull film as hard as I can, but it's very tedious. It ain't like football. Football, if you're up 10 points with 3 minutes to go, you light up a cigar.
Yeah.
Basketball, you might be hollering in about 2 minutes.
Yeah. You better be up a lot with 3 minutes.
Baseball is a different game. You can probably, when that guy walks on the mound, people say, well, how good a team they got? I'll let you know when he throws that first pitch.
You're going to tell them, ain't you?
Yeah, right, quick. But we in for trouble tonight, But it's.
Hey, before we go, I got to ask you this. You long time golfer. How long you been playing golf?
I started in college.
Okay.
He just turned 80. Turned 80 on July 18th.
Yeah.
So he's still kicking.
I didn't play in it because I didn't know nothing about. Don't want to play golf when I was little with doctors and lawyers. But I started playing a little bit in college, and of course I went about 7, 8 years 10 years didn't play much because I played softball every weekend.
So what do you think, Coach?
What?
40 years?
Yeah.
40 years ago?
20's close to, probably close to 60.
60 years, yeah.
60 years ago. All right.
6 decades.
So.
But slow pitch softball is the best game I ever played in my life.
Oh no.
That was the fun. It's the best. We played all that travel ball now, all that weekend tournament ball. It's the funnest I've ever played.
But
And he always says, "Well, why y'all quit playing?" I said,
we
"I don't
played
know. They just quit."
at one
Bats are
time.
made of damn
Yeah.
On
trampolines.
Monday, Wednesday night, they had a league in place, and on Tuesday and Thursday, they had a league in my lobby. But you didn't have you didn't play over weekend much back then. But them 4 nights, you go play.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm good on the softball. But listen, my question is, how close have you come to a hole-in-one?
I've had 5.
5! Woo! 5 hole-in-ones.
That goes to show I played a lot of golf.
That's okay. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I've had 5.
Got 5 hole-in-ones. Holy crap. The first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one. If you had to pick one, what's the most memorable one you had?
Well, there's 2 of them I didn't see go in the hole.
Okay.
Because it was over the ridge.
Okay.
One at Sleepy Creek and one at Timber Lake.
Uh-huh.
And, but all of them, you know.
All of them.
All of them.
That's pretty impressive.
So where have you done it at? You said Sleepy Creek,
Southern
Timber
Wayne,
Lake, Southern Wayne.
Timber Lake. I had 1 at Sleepy Creek, 1 at Southern Wayne, 3 at Timber Lake.
3 at Timber Lake. Yeah, Timber Lake's
I
number
might need to start playing there. You need to start playing there, kind of pop.
Well, that's cool. You got anything else, Coach?
No, I enjoyed it. Y'all do a great job.
Oh,
I mean,
appreciate it.
it's good. I mean, and I want all those people from the Sampson County, the ones that used to like me and the ones that used to hate me, to get on unscripted coaches.
Unscripted Coach.
We're gonna start throwing some hits out.
You can get it. Now, if you don't ask some more because I was on it, I'm going to be upset with you. I might not speak to you.
They're gonna track you down, Coach. Have you subscribed? Have you seen my video?
Yeah.
It'll be on you now.
If you don't know how to get on it, you got my phone number. Just call me and I'll tell you how to get on it.
There you go.
We'll
Or
rock
just
and
find
roll.
them on the sideline and down there on the end zone.
I'll be at the scoreboard, or I'll be at the scoreboard when I go to Hobson. I'll be at the scoreboard down there. You know.
He'll come to a sideline near you this fall. So, Bird, what you got?
I mean, just glad you're up here. Like I said, I learned a lot from you. I don't know.
And when you start baseball this year, if you need a little
Knowledge.
mentor,
Just tap into
Yeah.
it.
Some of it you
But
listen.
it's pretty simple.
Some of it you hear,
It's
some of
pretty
it you don't
simple.
listen.
What you got for me?
The thing about Michael Joyner, good baseball coach, I never forget, he was coaching clinic in Greensboro, and he said, "Coach, I'm going to be the baseball coach at Smithfield Selma this year." He said, "I don't really know if I know what I'm going to do or what to do." I said, "Well, listen, go home and cut on the TV. They'll show you where everybody's supposed to be, and that won't change. You got one here and one here and one there. You got it beat right there.
Yeah.
They don't, so you go from there."
You gotta put them out there.
Just, well, I had a few twerk things I like to do, a little simple stuff I like to do, simple stuff. But every time I mentioned in the past, the ones we have had, they didn't, just a little simple stuff.
So just that. So if you say something, say yeah.
They do the same thing. I like that, but they never would use it. So after hunt 10 years, you pick up this little simple
Pick up the
stuff.
little simple stuff.
Yeah.
Pick
But
up
I
little
appreciate
simple
it.
stuff. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not sure when this video comes out. It's late on a Thursday. We had some schedule issues, but preseason NFL game starts tonight.
Yep.
So-
Chargers and Detroit.
Shout out to NFL starting up this week, and all those guys out there trying to make a roster. Man, hey, I don't know who you are, but I'm rooting for you. Just keep chasing dreams.
Hey, you talked about way back Charlotte. You said they had one of the best NBA drafts.
Yeah.
They won a summer league.
Oh yeah.
Charlotte won a summer league.
Yeah. Also,
Somebody talking about the Panthers. They said they may go from last to first
really,
this year. Yep, they're big on them.
But that league then is not.
They're big on them from being last to first.
well,
Put
we'll
your
be
money on
with you
the
soon.
Panthers.
The next episode, we're going to talk about the first Saturday of college football, because that slate of games is amazing.
And guess who ESPN's going to be? Guess where they're going to be?
Where?
Carolina. They're going to have Nick Saban there.
Open weekend
They're going, yeah.
for TCU.
They're going to have Saban there. Brewski going One you,
Teddy Bruschi.
he's gonna be there.
Hey,
I think they play on Monday night.
Yeah.
They moved it.
are they one of those week 0 games? Or
They moved it from Saturday to Monday night.
So the ESPN and
So they
everything,
can
they're
be
gonna be there. Yep.
Because I figured that'd be at Clemson, but we'll see.
They might
Hey, you cool?
Cool, buddy.
Hey, episode 31. Make sure you like,
Thank you.
subscribe, and share this thing out.
I appreciate the $7 I got back from the baseball card.
Peace!
Yeah, you know,